Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the second day of the ASEAN International Furniture and Furnishings Show VX. For our first webinar this afternoon, our speaker will share with us how digital manufacturing process can help in your design and production process. With us is the partner for Pytha Asia, Mr. Aaron Boo. Let us all give him a big round of applause.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Aaron, and I'm representing Pytha. It's good to be on this show, and it's also very nice over the last one day to meet some of our customers that we usually see on trade shows, but now doing it virtually. But I'm also looking forward to the day that all of us can meet again in the international shows. So today I'm very honored to be able to share with everyone just some of my thoughts and outlook of our industry. And I'm actually sharing more towards the digitalization and innovation of the furniture and woodworking industry. Okay, so let me start my presentation. So today I'm just going to share about digital manufacturing and particularly CAD/CAM in carpentry. How can design and machine together help you in your business? Okay, so a little bit background about myself. I'm from Singapore, and I graduated from in Singapore in NUS. I went through the Polytechnic, and I majored in mechanical engineering. And shortly after graduation, I joined the woodworking industry in Singapore. Many people ask why there was a job opening, and I just went in. So in my first job, I was in charge. I was working for a plywood company in Singapore, and my role was as an engineer was to learn more about woodworking machines and help them look at various machines that can be brought into the market. To be bought, and they can buy it for their company. And shortly after that, I was in another carpentry company with a friend, and the company is called Woodfix. We actually specialize in digital manufacturing. Our first machine, I always say, when we started the business, was not a sliding table saw that you see in most of the carpentry outfit. But we actually bought a CNC machine because since the first day, we already knew that the business has to be digital, and the business has to have an engineering focus and not something where it's hand-drawn and crafted out by hand. But only through digitalization we are able to grow. So I spent about 6-7 years in the industry, and I left the company. And currently, right now, I'm representing Pytha. Pytha is a software from Germany, 36 years in the market, over 15,000 users worldwide. But I'm representing Pytha in the Southeast Asia market, which is the ASEAN market, as well as the East Asia market, Japan, Korea, and Taiwan. So let me just start with my sharing. So what is today's market trend in the industry? In today's market trend, we are looking, consumers are looking at buying furnitures that are more unique. So we always say that in today's consumer taste, they're always wanting to buy something that is unique, something that is special to their house, and not a mass market item. Of course, the mass market furniture is still there, but when you're talking about your middle tier market to the higher tier, which is where for most of the Singapore makers we want to be because of a better profit and selling, we actually have to give more custom choices. And we actually see this even in shop fitting. Like one of our customer, we have from Futuristic Store Fitting, they were doing counters for H&M, but they shared with me that over the last 10 years, the quantity of counters are always the same, but the diversity of the counter changes, meaning that designers now want more design instead of a mass market look for a short fitting display. We are also seeing the market trend where the developing countries in Asia, the customers are more affluent. So customers being more affluent, they would want something different for their house. Because in most of our Asia culture, the house is a place where we host people. And that's the place where we can at least show some of the unique furnitures that we have. And we also see a third trend, which is workers are more digital savvy. So we call it higher digital literacy, where the workforce itself now is able to use the computer and they're not scared of computer. I remember 8 years ago trying to hire a carpenter. The very basic question we always have to ask the carpenter is, do you know how to use a mouse and a keyboard? Do you know how to operate a Windows system? But now this is something that in Asia, it's already a given, where most of the people we hire on a production floor are exposed to technology, not if it's not through the computer, but definitely through the smartphone. So one of a customer that we have that I've seen recently step into the realm of digital manufacturing will be in Thailand. So this customer, Bansok, they are designing everything in Pytha with a software and producing it for the customer. And for them, they leave nothing to handwork. All of their designs, custom designs, are done on the computer. And a lot of you who are doing mass manufacturing will say that, but doesn't make sense because I'm only doing a single cabinet. But this is the thing, because softwares have become so easy to use, and you are able to now use the software to help you to create furnitures linking to your machine so that there's lesser mistakes. We are also seeing a rise of customized web shops. Nowadays, it's not nice to go and just pick from an image like you do in Lazada. But we are seeing more customers wanting to have an interactive shop front. And if you have an interactive shop front, the critical part is, of course, linking it back to your back-end system. So for example, these two companies, Custo is a company based in Singapore. This is their web page. What's interesting is you can just go into the web page immediately, and you're able to say, I want bookcases, I want this bookcase. And from here, you are able to adjust the dimensions of the cabinet. Okay, so you are able to toggle the width, and in 3D, you are able to control the width of the cabinet, adjust the rows, and you are able to change the design. So we are seeing a rise of such manufacturers who are offering such customized solution. In the past, you need to sit down with a designer to do this, but now in the comfort of my home on my web browser, I'm able to say, I want this width, this height, and this typology, the color, and I'm able to see it straight away. So we are seeing more and more companies moving to this, and I call this the digitalization wave. In Europe, it's actually already very common. We call it the batch size one production system, where it's no longer a machine producing for 1,000 pieces. The machine produces 10 different cabinets, and sometimes there's only one unique panel. So we are seeing a rise in batch size. We are also seeing a rise in JIT, because like in Singapore, warehousing space is so expensive. It doesn't make sense for you to store too much furniture. But customers are acceptable with a 1 week lead time. And with a 1 week lead time, you are able to do a just-in-time production and immediately order the material and produce and ship it to the customer. And I would say the third thing that's pushing this wave would be the deep customization of product. We don't call it the normal customization of product, because customization is changing of color that everyone can do. It's just how much MOQ you stock for a certain color. but we are talking about deeper customization, changing the width, the depth, and the height. And we are seeing that customers are asking more and expect more, but they are not willing to pay too high. So the downside of all this GIT and batch size production that is in the past is high manpower, high time spent in engineering, because every single design you have to design in AutoCAD through hand, and there's no smart algorithm that can help you change the size and go into the machine easily. So exactly what is then digital manufacturing? Digital manufacturing is defined where your approach to manufacturing is centered around a computer system. So in our industry, we call it CAD/CAM, computer-aided design, computer-aided machining. So there's a computer-aided in front. So with the digital manufacturing, we're able to combine our workflow centered around a computer ecosystem. And what are machines? So this should be very familiar. We have Hallmark machines, SCM, Biese. These are types of woodworking machines that are computer aided, right? Many of you, I believe, who build furniture at a much mass scale, especially customers like in Indonesia, Vietnam, these machines are very common. So as well as in Singapore. But we have seen that in Singapore and in a lot of countries, these two are not connected. Customers are using their machines. Yes, they have machines to help them produce and cut very fast. But customers are using a software that's like AutoCAD 2D, and it's a separate process. And in the middle, they actually need a person, okay, to help to change the design and enter the design into the machine. So often this is called the carpenter, the woodworker. But the idea of a batch size one production to make it work and to be profitable, the design has to go to the machine without any much human intervention. So I call this the digital manufacturing process. And today, part of my sharing would be to show you how Pytha is able to help you achieve this digital manufacturing process. Do understand it's not as easy as buying a software and a machine. Often, when I work with customers, it's often working with them, coming up with a system and have a workflow to make this work. So today, the software I'm going to show you is Pytha. Okay, it's a 3D CAD system. You can see in the middle, you first design your item in 3D. This item is similar to like what you draw in SketchUp or in AutoCAD 3D. But for Pytha, you also draw the item in 3D, not 2D, 3D. Okay, we are able to do rendering using visualization tools, putting the color, have a photorealistic image so that you don't need to build many samples and have a photographer taking the photos for you, but you're able to change the color instantly and give you a new render. I think ray tracing technology has improved over the time, and right now we are more and more closer to really photorealistic images. Pytha is also able to generate cutting lists. So if you have a cabinet, the system can generate automatically the number of panels, the total edge bending, the hardware, as well as also tell you the cost to produce, for example. The third thing, Pytha is also able to do technical drawings, meaning that your 2D drawings that you traditionally would have done can be done in Pytha pretty fast. And lastly, Pytha is also able to connect to the CNC machines. So this is important. This is where the two circles merge, where you have a software that talks to the machine. So shortly, I'll show you some examples of what I mean by merging. You know, merging is not having a worker entering the program onto a machine, but the machine program is written automatically by the system. That already reduces a certain degree of error. And you can imagine with a batch size production, there's no time to build a prototype for every design. When you are doing a batch size production, your design on the computer has to be accurate, and you should be able to produce straight away. In Pytha, the software is 36 years. I've represented the company for over 3 years, and I'm very happy to say that we have received such a good feedback from our customers. And you can see in less than 3 years, we have expanded to 108 customers, over 188 licenses. So Singapore, Malaysia is our strongest ground, and recently we have grew a lot in Japan, Indonesia, as well as Taiwan. We are also entering Philippines. Our software is fully translated to Vietnamese, Japanese, Chinese. So you can see that the software is easy to use, and we have a lot of training. So I should just dive straight into the software, because no point telling you how good or what is good about our software, but to let you see for yourself, how can Pytha help you in your company. Okay, so this is what you see, our Pytha system. All right, over here you can see that we can bring in files like AutoCAD, SketchUp. So even if you have an existing file that you're using, or you're taking a design from an architect, you are able to take the design and bring it into Pytha straight away. So you will ask me, Aaron, there's so many software in the market, what's so different about Pytha? So today I will show you what is different about Pytha. First, I'm just going to bring in a very simple cabinet over here. Okay, every software, everyone can do a cabinet. What's different about Pytha? Pytha is flexible, meaning I'm able to say extend, select the front, and I'm able to pull the cabinet back and forward easily. I can even say that I want it back by 400 mm. And you see it exactly 400 mm to the back. I'm able to say, okay, this corner, please pull it forward by 900 mm. And now it goes forward. You can see that the cabinet deforms correctly. This is straight, this is curved. And now we always say that Pytha system is really purely for woodworking, where we have tools to help you design faster. What do I mean by that? If you are a designer, you will know that to draw a panel in the middle, is the hardest, because the top is sloping, the bottom is straight. In Pytha, all I need to do is press copy, click left, click right, and immediately the middle panel appears. I can increase the number of panels, and you can see that the panel follows the top straight away. And over here, we can say explode, and you can also see that the system is already knows that every panel is a single panel, and it means that immediately we are able to get the cutting list, the panel name, the length, the width, and the thickness. Okay, so Pytha is able to help you speed up this process of designing. What else can the system do? Let me just undo this, and I'm just going to copy 3 other cabinets here. Okay, so if you are doing more complex furniture, like a cabinet that is a round shape or oval shape, Pytha can quickly give you the form for you to design. What do I mean by that? We're able to say use a bending command, and I'm able to say angle, and I move the cabinet on a certain angle. I can say please cut it around to segments, and now you can see we have the cabinet bent, and you are able to optimize this product, and you're able to go directly to the CNC machine. All right, so you can see that we are very powerful in freeform shapes, in creating designs with rounded shapes, right? But I know some of you only do wardrobes and single piece like night table. We are also able to create it very fast, because we have our own list of plugins or generators, we call it, that you're able to say, I need a shelf. I'll click here, I'll click the back, and immediately the shelf appears. You can increase the number of shelf or decrease the number of shelf. Okay, and look, we are not just copying the panels, we are giving the panels a good gap and setback, meaning that the gap between the panels, 1 mm, the setback of the panel from the front, that's a 50 mm pushback. So for Pytha, we're able to do this pretty fast. All right. And I can also say my panel thickness is 15, enter. What else can we do? We are able to say, okay, I need a drawer. I'll click the bottom, I'll click the top, and immediately we have drawers. Okay, I can say 4 drawers. But look, we are not only giving you a drawer front. Some softwares give you the door. We are giving you the drawer box itself. So you are able to generate the drawer box automatically. And over here, I'm able to change, I can say 150 for the drawer size panel. So the entire drawer can be customized here. Okay. And most importantly, we do have the hardware for the major manufacturers like Bloom, Heritage, Fale. You are able to choose. So I can say a Bloom tandem box 400, you see the drawer automatically push back. And I can say a Bloom tandem box 350, the drawer goes in. Just to also highlight, you will see some red color holes here. These are the marking holes that will be communicated to the CNC. Okay, so basically, these mounting holes are accurate to the hardware. So now, I will just clear this and I'll say, for this design, 3 drawers, and I press OK. All right, so we have a simple cabinet already being constructed. And lastly, I say bottom shelf generator. Okay, so I'll just say over here, and I'll say it's about 45 degrees. So Pytha is able to automatically create this bottom shelf generator. So this is something that you see very common for kitchens, but in Singapore, not too practical because we can't really put our wines on the open shelf unless this is in the cellar. So over here, I'm able to say 0. So now it becomes straight, right? And I'm able to say that, okay, give me 4 columns by 6 columns. So over here, you see 1, 2, 3, 4, and you see 6 columns here. All right. So we are able to do this, and I can just press OK. And look, when I move the panel out, you will actually see that the joinery is being done automatically by the software. So you don't need to worry too much about how are the panels crossed together, right? So in a short 5 minutes, I have already created a simple series of cabinet, a chest of drawer, an open cabinet, as well as a bottle generator, bottle shelf. Okay, but this is where Pytha comes in next. Okay, I need to put some colors. So over here, I'm just going to go into, sorry, let me just hide this floating. Okay, and I'm able to just say attributes, material palette. And over here, because we have been selling for over 3 years in Asia, we do have all the major laminate brands in our system. For makeup, Lamitech, Emera, Evershine, EDL, Agarbots, all the picture data are all placed into our system. So when you purchase the software, there's no need to onboard the materials yourself. So I'm able to say, okay, I'll use this Lamitech wood. I'll put aging in front of my cabinet, aging in front, and I press OK. And I select everything. So you can see that the red lines represent age banding data, and you can see that the cabinets, okay, follows the certain grain direction. And I'm able to say, okay, for the top, maybe I want the grain direction to face the other, maybe I want the grain direction to face another way. I can just press here and you can see that the grain direction changes. So you can easily change the grain direction and do the grain matching easily in the optimized stage. So right now, what's next? We have placed the color. Almost everyone could do put the color, but this is where a CAD/CAM solution comes in. So not only just for Pytha, for other CAD/CAM solutions, this is a part where we are different from SketchUp, because in a lot of 2D AutoCAD you are able to do the 3D, but you can't put in things like dowels, edge bending, you can't. But for Pytha, immediately I can say automatic, and today I decide to use a system from Titus, and I press OK, and you can see that automatically the cam and dowels are being placed automatically. If I'm not happy, because this is an expose, I do not want a cam, I'm able to just say, all right, please change this. And I'm able to enter dowel, 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 space, dowel, space, dowel, dowel. Press OK. And now immediately you can see that there's no more cam at that area. Over here, I'm able to say, okay, my customer wants a shoe cabinet in his picking, and I can just tilt the bottom shelf and press OK. And you look, the hose follows automatically. This is what we mean by complexity becomes simple. And this is the whole idea about CAD/CAM systems, where you can do more complex projects, but doesn't cost you in the manpower and engineering stage. So over here, what we're able to do, the system is able to say, okay, now we have done everything. I'm able to generate my cutting list. So I have a list of items. And over here, we are going to export it to an Excel file. And I want to find out the cost. How much is it to produce such a system? So over here, we do have a website that our customers can log in. Okay, so this is done on the web, cloud-based, so that you are able to have many designers, and all the designers have a central cloud system for the costing. And so over here, we are able to say add a part. Okay, I'll call this demo day project, demo day 1, reference 12, and I'll just add this Excel sheet, and I press upload. So the system automatically uploads and cross-checks my items with the cloud data. So what happens now is they're checking the price of the data, generating the report. Okay. And in a couple of seconds time, an Excel file will be given back to me. And I'm able to check how much is the cost to produce such a system. So over here, okay, we have a report. This report, of course, can be customized to your company. You will see that we have a core material, the laminate color, the code, and the price. So about $164 for the panels. The aging, okay, aging over here, you can see the price, fittings, the cam and dowels. You have the pictures, as well as the hardware from Bloom. So as a company admin, you can change the price easily. So Pytha is able to give you accurate pricing. But what's next? What's next after the price? You want to produce the cabinet. So we are able to also calculate the number of panels you need. So over here, I come back to the part list. I'm just going to export this to an optimizing system. Okay, and today in this demo, we have an optimizing system called Artist. Okay, and from here, we are able to say add parts. All right, and I'm able to say, okay, please add this panel. All right, and then please do the optimizing. So right now, what does the optimizer does is that it is actually calculating your layout over here. So you are able to immediately have a preview of what's the most optimized way to cut this panel. And you're able to also tell the system how much extra you want to produce, so that the waste area is you are producing more extras for spare. So you can see that with the optimizer, we can directly go into a panel saw, and there's no need to do any manual calculation or adjustments on the panel saw straight away. So I've already gone to costing. I've already gone to the optimizer. What's the next step? Is to the CNC machine. So Pytha, we're able to export to almost all the brands of machines in the world. We always say that as long as the machine has a USB stick that I can put a USB drive inside, we are able to export it. So today I'm going to say, okay, I want this panel on woodwork. So I say export this to woodwork. And in woodwork, I'm just going to open the file. Okay, I think it was a side panel over here. And you can see that automatically the machining is already done by Pytha. So I do not need to worry whether the communication about how deep the hole has to be drilled is gone to my production floor. So you can see this is a part where CAD/CAM system allows you to do more customized work without much engineering involved. We can also export this same panel. I'll export the top panel now. Okay, but this time I'll say that maybe I have a BSA machine. I'll export the top panel to a BSA system. Over here, I have BSolid. It works for BSA works. If you have an older version, I might be able to say import this side panel. Okay, so wait a while. Okay, so the system is loading, and you can see when I import the side panel, the holes are all automatically done here. So back to here, what's next? After the machining, we are able to also create the 2D drawings. So this is a part where you save a lot of time. I can off my shaded view, and immediately I go into a 2D plot shape. Front view, I can even, from our system, give you section. So you can see how the cabinet look like in section view and immediately do the dimensioning that's needed in the section view. All right, I can also do a section for my drawers. You'll see here, change some properties to switch off the hidden edges. So Pytha allows you to do better drawings without much mistakes because the 2D drawings is linked to 3D. So this is a part where you change the 3D, the 2D drawings automatically changes. And from here, you're able to also say properties, and you're able to say explosion to get this exploded view over here. All right, so next you will ask, Aaron, what if there is a web shop interface? How can Pytha help me with this? Over here, I have a simple Excel ordering sheet. I will say that nightstand tree, I want one more nightstand tree. And I'll say that this nightstand, I want it to be 750 mm width, and I want it to be 900 mm height. And from here, I save it into an XML file. And basically in Pytha, I say file, import a XML. And immediately, you will see the nightstand that's in my library being generated, 6 pieces with different typology immediately done. So this is actually how, if you have a web shop, how you integrate it into Pytha. Once the order is done, your web shop produces an XML, you can code it in any way, and you can bring it into Pytha to immediately import and send it to production. You can see over here, our XML data that we are calling is not just the blocks. You can see it's all customized, and you can see every single panel, like the profile, is imported in straight away. One last example before we go to the Q&A. Some of you would say that if I'm just a kitchen guy, how can Pytha help me? Pytha, we have our plugins, we have our kitchen wizard. I can easily say, okay, I want a kitchen, I want a door. I want a door that is 900 width, okay? And you can see that the conventions are done automatically. Insert on the right. Next, I want a drawer. I want 3 drawers. And I want the top drawer to be 150 mm and the bottom to be the same. Immediately, I can say, okay, insert it on the right. I'm able to say a blind corner unit, done. So immediately, I can go to my views, and you can see over here in the 2D view, the conventions, the drawers are placed automatically. This is something new in Pytha. We call this the plugins. So the plugins are things that you as a customer, as long as you know some basic programming language, or if you hire a computer engineer in your office, which is many now, in Indonesia, you have many people who study programming, they can write additional plugins for the software that today, if I want to do a spiral staircase, I can easily create a plugin to help me create a spiral staircase. So Pytha, we are moving into a more open system, similar to Android, where you are able to actually design your own plugins for the software. So it means that you are able to design a wardrobe generator, or like over the last week, I designed a pegboard generator, just a simple pegboard, because often to draw the holes, it takes a lot of time. And I just say 800 mm, and you see the peg move automatically. So the system is very open, and I hope that through this short demo, you see that how Pytha can actually help you in the production process, and you can see that we were able to create complex designs pretty fast. So this is the end of my demo. I think we'll move on to the Q&A. All right. So I think we have a question. If you use your own in-house hardware, are you able to program it to our software? The answer is yes, and it's very simple to program into our software. You can download the AutoCAD file of the hardware and bring it into our system. So over here, we already have a list of items. So if you can see here, we have in my USR folder, libraries. You can easily say you want a BMB log set, and you can actually design this hardware. So as long as you have the file, you can design it, we can put it in. If you say that, no, Aaron, I don't want to spend too much time doing all this library. I want to, the moment I get the software, I want to fly. Then yes, we can also help you to look for designers, because we have over 200, 300 customers, designers who are using Pytha. We are able to help you to look for someone who is able to do your library. The good thing about the software is that it is very easy to learn. Over here, we have the best school book in the whole for our system. You can really learn it step by step. Okay, about Pytha. If you go to Pytha YouTube channel, you are also able to learn more about our software. Okay, over in YouTube. Okay, in creating another question, in creating complicated items, you do not need to use SketchUp. Yeah, you do not need to use extensions, because in Pytha we can actually handle quite complex items. For example, this was just a very quick example. I just draw a freeform shape over here. Okay, I'm just going to copy this over, and I have a shape like this. I'm able to use Pytha's freeform and create an interesting shape like this, freeform, right? And with a shape like this, we're able to say, okay, please cut this up. Please cut this up from the bottom. All right, and from here, you're able to see that we are able to create an interesting structure like this. Okay, so all this can be done actually in Pytha easily. Another question I have from Samuel: do we make 3D renderings? Yes, because we are a CAD/CAM system, we actually do make 3D rendering, like this example of a nightstand. I can even do a screenshot right now. It already looks very good, but I can do rendering, and then we have some lighting that we need to apply, and then you have a very good and nice rendering. You can take a look at our Pytha website, pytha.com. All these items in the front of our slideshows are done and rendered in Pytha. No add-on needed. There's no need to go to external software. Okay, so we have a few more questions. Okay, let me just quickly move on. So over here, Tony, you asked, how can we export and import a drawing from another software? Actually, for Pytha, the only thing you need to do would be to say import, and you can import an AutoCAD file, DWG, DXF, 3ds for customers who are using 3D Max for your rendering system, OBJ, STL, as well as SketchUp. And if you are using this software called Kujiale, which is now pretty popular for interior designers, we are also able to import Kujiale system, Comhouse system, into our software, and our software handles the production. So you can see over here, it's a very flexible system where we take in data in, but we are also able to export data back to the AutoCAD ecosystem. So if you need to be BEAM compliant, or if you need to give your customer the AutoCAD file, you are able to export from Pytha AutoCAD in a 3D shape, okay, and give it to your customer. Okay, one last question that I have here would be, are you able to download the system for free, or do you need to pay for the license or subscription? If the system is free, it will be hard to survive, you know. And for such a specialized software, it's of course a software that is not given out free. But what we actually do, and why Pytha has been so popular, is because number one, we offer perpetual and subscription. Means if you decide to have a subscription, you can just pay per use. If you want to have the software forever, which we recommend customers to do that, you can just purchase the software. But this is the most important thing. We are the only software that is able to say, you know what, pay me in 2 years. You have an installment plan, and any moment you feel that the software is not suitable for you, you can stop. And you do not need to pay us the remaining amount. We just stop the license. We can do this because we are confident. But most importantly, our heart is, we really do want to help manufacturers get on digitalized, because this is the only way forward for our industry, where you need to offer more customized products, more JIT production. And to do this, you really do need a software. Gone are the days that is drawn, handwritten by hand, unless you're selling $1,000 furniture for one piece. So for us, we usually like to help our customers. So we do a 2-year installment plan. We do have a student version. We're actually working with schools. So students, you can email us. We're happy to look into how we can give you training, because we believe that the way forward is also working with students in Vietnam and in Indonesia. We are working with universities. Okay. One last question. Can I use your software to do details inside my design and export it to Revit? Yes, you can. So the good thing about Pytha is you're able to do very detailed joinery, like finger joint. You can put in the cams, and everything that you have done there, the data will go to AutoCAD. And in Revit, you just need to define the article number as well as certain attributes. Okay, so I guess just nice. I hope everyone had a good time hearing my sharing. Once again, thank you so much for all the participants that have joined in. I think we have over 80 participants here, and those who are on Facebook. I hope if there are still some questions, do come by our booth. We'll be there to answer and do any one-on-one demo. So once again, I just wish everyone all the best, stay safe. And those customers who are watching in now, we really hope all of us can meet up soon, like we did 2 years ago in our user meeting. So thank you, everyone.